What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by, spending a few minutes of your time here with me tonight. Tonight, we're going to be doing things a little different, all right? We're actually going to go back and look at 10 months of the Euro USD currency pair, all right? And we're going to be inspecting primarily the first and second week of the month, all right? Now, we're not changing anything up. I'm simply zooming out, all right? Now, Stacy tells us a lot of the times when we are looking at a new week, okay, by the time Monday and Tuesday trade and put in a high and put in a low, one of those extremes will tend to hold for the rest of the week. Now, I'm applying that same logic to the month, all right, that in the first and second week of the month, one of these extremes, either the high or the low, will be put in place in a large majority of cases, okay? So when I look back through the past basically year, 12 months on the Euro USD, there were 2 months, I believe, that did not form the high or low of the month within the first 2 weeks, okay? So this is not a hard rule. It's a market tendency, and these tendencies can help us form expectations, help us come up with a plan, all right? And we're also going to later on tie this into looking for ACB setups, okay? Using this information to identify days where it may be viable to look for an ACB all-in opportunity within those first couple of weeks, all right? Now, we are going to take a look at a couple setups on these charts, all right? And I just want you to keep this in mind, that if you know exactly what you're looking for, all right, and we're talking ACB, all right, if you know what you're looking for, in one or two trades every month, you can make the majority of your money, okay? These are the types of trades where you want to size in heavy, okay? Once you're confident that you know what you're looking for, okay? You're going to size in heavy with these, and the rest of the month, you can, scalp your way through the market. Take your normal trades, all right? But really manage your risk real tight, okay? Those would be like your bonuses or like your tip or something like that. But the majority of your income from trading will come from these one or two very good trades, days where it's very easy to make money out of the market, all right? Now let's get into it. So here, we're starting, as you can see, in the month of April. This orange line is what's going to be separating the months for us, all right? So this is the low of the month. This level remains intact for the rest of the month. In the first 2 days of the month, the low of the month is put in place, all right? Now, just like when we have a new week, right? Let's say the new week starts, Monday trades higher, it puts in a peak formation high. That peak formation high on Monday is our new high of the week level. All right. That closing price on Monday is our new highest closing price of the week. All right. The same is true when we have a new month. All right. So this is our high of the new month, our low of the new month on this first day. This is our lowest closing price of the month. And this is something that should become very important to you. The highest closing price of the month, the lowest closing price of the month. These are levels that we are going to be watching. All right. Now here in this example, we have our false breakout day one type of 3-day setup, okay? We have this day that breaks the previous day's high, all right? The following day breaks the previous day's low, breaking the opposite side of the daily range, confirming day one as a false breakout, okay? So we have day one, day two, headed into day three. We're at our lowest closing price of the month, and you can see how prices, pipping through there, putting these wicks down there into that closing price, right? That's our consolidation, false break to the downside for a big trade in the other direction. Remember this pattern, okay? This is what you need, all right? So this is what we're seeing here, a consolidation, a break to the downside for an explosive trade in the opposite direction, right? from the low of the month, from the lowest closing price of the month, a long trade. All right. Now here is the next month. This is the second week of this month. This low holds for the rest of that month, right? So we have a high of the month level, which will come into play later, right? And here's our low of the month level in the first 2 weeks. Now, this is what you're looking for, bro. When you're looking for an ACB type of opportunity, something like this, all right? Where we have 3 lower closes going into the lowest close of the month, which is down here, all right? This is 3 days of breakout traders short in the market, which is a reversal setup, all right? That third day of breakout traders is the signal day. We could get the trade on that third day of breakout traders, or we could get it the following day, which is what we have here in this case, right? So we have 3 days of breakout traders. We're at the lowest closing price of the month. So we're automatically, if you're like me, you like to trade reversals, okay? We're automatically looking for this market to set up a long trade for us the next day. And you can see from that lowest closing price, we pump up. Here's our coil from London going into New York. We break that low of that coil just before session open and then explode. This is an ACB trade, okay? You can hold this till the close of the day. Now, I typically do not hold my trades to the close of the day. In fact, I never have held a trade to the close of the day. And that's something that I'm working on. All right. You know me, I really like my 3-session setups and, all of that good stuff. And I have things to improve on in my trading, and this is one of them, okay? Moving forward, you guys are going to see me attempting to add this into my trading, okay? Really holding on to these trades and milking everything I can get out of these trades, okay? I feel like I'm at that point in my trading, and I feel like you should be getting there too. Over the last year, we've been going over constantly what we're looking for on the day, entry patterns, okay, entry criteria, the master pattern, all of this stuff, okay? And now we're going to be shifting the focus of this channel drastically onto these ACB setups so we can really start getting this money, okay? This is a picture perfect setup, all right? Now, going forward, we're going to look at a later week in this same month, okay? As you can see, this is our highest closing price of the month, okay? Our high of the month so far. And this is where we break out of that level, okay? We break out first on this day and then break out for real on this day. And again, we have a day that breaks the low, followed by a day that breaks the high. So there's our false break, day 1, day 2, day 3. You might have hit this in the London session, right? But then you can see this coil sideways into Tokyo, right? We take out the high of that coil for a trade the next day. You could also enter in London at this 2 a.m. rollover here, right? For a hard break of that coil, right? It's kind of like a death line trade. Once that happens, bam, you're in there, you're holding till the close of the day. Why? Okay, we're back at the high of the month. Here's our highest closing price of the month, and you can see how we just go above that and then break back down below it, retest it, and continue to fall, okay? So you could have gotten in Tokyo, London, or New York this day and held to the close of the day, all right? Very powerful stuff here, okay? And again, it's not guaranteed, okay? You could see 3 higher closes, and be at the highest close of the month. And then the market continues to go higher. Okay. So it's important. All of the stuff that we've been going over for the last year, your entry criteria, the types of patterns you're looking to see on the day. Okay. You should understand this by now. If you don't, get with me in the Discord, bro, and we will go over it. Okay. We'll make sure that you are brought up to speed as far as that goes. All right. But you should know that by now with all of the resources that are out there. Now you need to be focusing on locking in these ACB trades because you're going to be making all of your money or the majority of your money on days like this when it's super easy to get that money. All right. And the rest of the time, you're chilling, bro. There's going to relieve all this pressure from you. No more over leveraging, over trading. Okay, you're going to be able to get your money when it's easy to get it and chill. All right. So here's the next month. You can see the very first day of that month, the very first trading day of that month puts in our low of the month. That level holds for the remainder of the month. All right. And again, when we open a new month, we are automatically putting in new extremes. So this automatically is our high of the month. This is automatically our highest closing price of the month. All right. And you can see, okay, we go up, we break out of that level, we put in a new highest closing price of the month. All right. Bam, that blue line. All right. And we trade above it, break down. We got a coil going into London and we continue to break down. You get in New York over here, hold till close. All right. Shorting the market, looking for a short trade from the highest closing price of the month. Okay. Remember the name of the game, sell high, buy low, right? The next month, or actually, this is just after that. Okay. So here's our highest closing price of the month. You can see that over here. And we break out right here. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3 higher closes, big pump, right? Big pumps up. 1, 2, 3, highest closing price of the month. Here is our coil sideways into Tokyo where we break that high, right? We break the high of the coil and then immediately reverse and go the other way. All right, we're retesting the previous day's levels and failing. All right, this is exactly what we're looking for. And this is a day, maybe you get out in London, maybe you don't hold it to the close of the day, but if you're getting in somewhere over here, because we're looking at an hourly chart. So if you're on a 5-minute chart and you're getting in on a 5-minute chart, you could still hold this thing to the close of the day and be just fine. All right. But these are the types of things that you're looking to trade and size into. This is where your money's coming from. The next month, again, the first trading day of the month puts in the high of the month level. All right. Here's our highest closing price of the new month. And you can see how the next couple days trade up into that level, but can't quite get there and break down. All right. Again, we have a false break at the high of the week, high of the month. We have a day that breaks the previous day's high, followed by a day that breaks the opposite side of the daily range. Okay. Breaking the low for a day 3 right here. All right. And it's funny how it's 1, 2, 3 of the month, right? Bam, ACB. You're getting in that thing in London, maybe in New York, and holding it to the close of the day. Right? The next month, again, the first day of the month puts in the low of the month, and that holds for the remainder of that month. Going into the new month, we have 1, 2, 3 lower closes, headed into the lowest close of the new month. Okay, and you can see that's our coil. We break the low of that coil, breaking out of the previous day's low for a little trap and shift. Okay, a little one, right? That's a 1-hour candle, bro. That thing is, you know what I'm saying? You're making money off of these trades. Okay, the next month, the second day of the month, third day of the month, puts in our low of the month level. Okay, and that level holds for the remainder of that month. Okay, and again, we have our false break at the high of the month, a day that breaks the high, followed by a day that breaks the low for a day 3 ACB trade. Okay, and you can see this big hammer on a 1-hour chart for your entry or a later entry in New York and holding that thing. The next month, we're all the way in October now, okay? And I'm telling you, 1 or 2 trades a month, bro, okay? And you need to know when you should be looking for these things, right? There's a higher probability that you're going to be getting your money in these first few weeks of the month, all right? Because the first few weeks of the month are really where most of that big price action is going to be happening, where a lot of the positioning is going to be happening. And the later on in the month, we're doing more corrective action and shit like that. But in the beginning of the month, it's more about that price discovery, prices moving. You know what I'm saying? So Here, going into that new month, we have 1, 2, 3 higher closes. All right. Here's our highest close of the month. Okay. And you can see we pump, coil, and dump going into New York. All right. We have that mini pattern right here, but we're also retesting the highs from the previous day before melting down. Okay. We have those 3 higher closes. First red day here for the follow through trade the next day. All right. And then coming out of this move down here, 1, 2, 3 lower closes into the lowest closing price of the month, right? Bam. We get that nice coil. We false break the low of that coil for an explosive New York session trade, an ACB type of trade. And then again, over here, right, we have this, retest of the low of the month. The exact same thing, right? Pump, coil, dump. And then over here we have a dump, coil, pump in the New York session off of that level. Okay. The next month, the low of the month is put in place. In the first few days of that month, we have lower closes going into the new month. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3 lower closes. The lowest close of the month. Okay. We take that level out, start trading, and then this is a trade on this day in the Tokyo session or in London, okay? But the Tokyo breakout, you see? So this is where the money is at, bro. We're just zooming out and using some basic information, basic market tendencies to form some ideas, all right? And then here, again, the first few days, put in that low of the month and we start hiking higher. All right. And this is a perfect example of when we have 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3 higher closes and we do not get that reversal. So you have to be on your P's and Q's, bro. Okay. You have to know what you're looking for a short trade. Me, I'm short bias. I like to trade reversals. I know what I'm looking for when it comes to my setup. If that's not your thing, if you like to trade continuation trades, you would be in your element here, taking these continuation trades, and that's up to you. You have to figure that out on your own. This is what I like to do. This is how I like to trade. Okay. But here's our 1, 2, 3 higher closes into the highest close of the month. Okay. For that pump and dump in the New York session, we come back up, taking out levels, right? And then dumping down. This is sort of like, I don't know what you would call it. If this is a monkey hammer type of trade, right? But first red day, you could trade the follow through in London, okay? And we just keep getting these red days after that. And then here again, the first couple of days of the month of December puts in the low of the month and that level holds, all right? And you can see there's our new highest closing price of the month, right? We pump, coil, and dump in the New York session, 11 a.m., hold till close. And I'm not saying that all these are perfect trades. I'm just trying to show you the structural similarities of the month, all right? Zooming out, looking at higher time frames, okay? So we can lock in these ACB trades. And then after that, or wait, this is the next month, okay? The second week of the month, locking in the low of the month that holds for the rest of the month, okay? We have 1, 2, 3 lower closes into the lowest close of the month. Tokyo takes off, all right? And then up here, okay, because look, there's our first green day close. We coil sideways in Tokyo, dump down for the pump, right? False break of the low of that coil for the all-in opportunity, right? And that is the end of our 10-month adventure here on Euro USD. We're going to do this with more pairs until we really get this solid in our mind, okay? But these are the types of trades that we're looking to take. These are the all-in opportunities, all right? This is where we can make the majority of our money very quickly. very quickly in a short amount of time, get out of the market and get on with the rest of our lives, okay? This is where your salary pay is coming from, right? Anyway, man, I hope that this made sense. I appreciate y'all's patience with me, uploading videos and all of that. I appreciate you, man. Until next time, I hope you continue to free your mind.